Hey, what's up everyone, this is Yatsox, and today I got my review of the Blackberry Bold 9900 on the Verizon network. Let's take a look at this thing. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over is just the looks and the design of it. So it's a very sleek design. It's got a, it's a 2.8-inch screen. It's a touch screen. It's running Blackberry's brand new Blackberry OS 7. It's very thin. It's got a 1.2 gigahertz single core processor. It's got 5 megapixel camera on the back, no camera on the front, but the camera on the back is 720p. It's got GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. It's got a little more RAM than most phones. It's got 768 megabytes of RAM versus a lot of phones have 500, like the iPhone 4 is 500. And it's even got a mini SD card slot so you can expand it. But the interesting thing is that it actually has NFC technology, meaning that like if well, I'll talk about NFC a little bit, but let's talk about design. So it's got the Blackberry QWERTY keyboard, with so it's a real buttons, real clicks. A lot of people, business people like that, still stuck on those versus touch screens. And that's kind of up to personal opinion, but with this going, you only got half a screen versus, many other phones. Like, let me grab my iPhone. Like most of you probably know, the iPhone is no buttons, just completely screen. Use all that space they can on the screen. Or like the HTC, some of the HTC phones, just really maximizing that screen. Because of this QWERTY keyboard, they really have to minimize screen space. One of the things I am not a fan of is, this is just kind of, many of you probably wouldn't even notice this, but right here, you can see that kind of line right there. That's actually, there's a lip right there, and it's just kind of a weird feeling. Like when you're messing with this, if you go up too high, it's got like this lip, or if you're touching the screen and you come down, I don't know, it's just, they could have made that level or whatever. They didn't need to put that lip in. But on the top we got a sleep/wake button, like many phones. It's in the center, which I'm not quite used to. Usually it's on the left or right, but not that big a deal. On the right we got the volume up, volume down, and mute button, but there's no like labels for that, so if you don't know, you're never gonna know. Excuse me. And then lower on the right side, which I always find myself accidentally hitting this button, is the camera button. But you can also go into settings and change this to do whatever you want. There's like 30 different things you can do with it, which I think is very cool, that you can kind of program the button to do what you want. On the left side we have the headphone jack, micro USB. Bottom we got nothing, and the back we just got this cool holographic-y backing and the camera and this little silver piece. Alright, so let me wake it up from sleep. One of the first things I want to say, that when you actually turn off this phone, it is very fast to turn back on, which is very nice. My Droid takes like 5 minutes to turn back on, and it's very annoying, and you're sitting there trying to wait, and it's just booting up, and you're kind of, this one starts up very fast, very nice. If you ever take out the battery to access the memory or the SIM card, you do have to relog into your Blackberry thing when it turns back on. It does take a little longer to turn back on, but you're not going to be doing that every single time you're turning it on and off. Oh, one of the things I almost forgot to mention is, look at that, it's a very nice backlit QWERTY keyboard. In the dark, it really lights up nice. I'm not going to go in a dark room just to show you guys that. You can take my word for it, that these buttons light up very nice at night, and you can see these are working already. It's very nice and easy to see. Speaking of easy to see, is the screen. I actually really like this screen. It's very colorful. It looks a little washed out through the camera, but it looks very nice when you're actually holding it. This red is a very dark and deep red. I know it looks washed out, but trust me, it looks good. But yeah, so let's talk about the OS a little bit. If you don't know, up here we kind of got, the time, like a basic phone, dates. Right here we got a universal search like many phones, and they'll show you any calendar notifications. I'm going on vacation in like a week. It's telling me that right there. Universal search, speak to search, and then down here you got some categories. You got all, so you can pull it up and look through all my different things. You can go to favorites. I don't have anything under favorites. Media, so you got your music. You can scroll up, get all your stuff. And then you got downloads, frequent, and then back to all. Let's see, what do I want to talk about next? Let's see, next thing I want to talk about is the phone quality itself. So I've called about 10 different people. They've all said it sounds good. Nothing super amazing about it, but it does not, I've not had any drop calls. It is on Verizon. That's partially due to the service provider, but you know, it hasn't been staticky. People haven't complained. I've got pretty good bars right now. If you can see that there, focused in. I got 4 out of 5 bars or whatever that is. It works well. The speakerphone is very nice. Speakerphone's right here. This little thing on the back. It works very nice. It's especially with music. I don't know why on Blackberries people would be blasting music through their speakers that often, but it actually does sound very nice, and it really helps people when they're on the phone. You know, like you know, it's not like I hate the iPhone from the fact that my speakerphone is so quiet on the iPhone compared to some of the HTCs and other Android devices out there. So no complaints as far as phone quality or speaker goes. Let's see. I'll talk about quickly like the internet browsing. It's here. I'll just reload real quick. It is a 3G device, not a 4G device. So so I mean, it's not. You're not gonna get that super fast speed, but for a 3G device I find it pretty fast. The scrolling, the touchscreen is very responsive. The pinch to zoom, hold on, oh, I guess this web page doesn't support it because it's going side to side. The pinch to zoom works very well. Let me see if I can, here we go. It works very well. It auto focuses very fast, faster than some of the tablets I've reviewed. And I'm really liking the pinch to zoom and everything else. The screen, I've got no complaints about the touch aspect of it, which Blackberry's had some troubles with in the past. But I do have some complaints about the apps. Some of the apps work fine. Let me go to my downloads. So like Skype works fine. You can't video chat, but you can chat. iHeartRadio, I'll boot that up real quick. That works fine. No complaints about that. But some of the other apps like the iCopter, you get this Java problem, which I assume has to do with the fact that this is a brand new Blackberry and they don't actually have support for it. But there's no way to tell that before you buy an app. Again, with this one, you know, you could pay $1, $2 and not even know it works. The weather one, it works okay, but if you look closely, the third set of numbers, which is actually the rain chance, is actually cut off halfway through the screen. So that's a little annoying, but you can kind of guess, and I guess it works. It's just not that amazing. Their version of Fruit Ninja, that game works pretty well for, I guess, a BlackBerry-based game. And then, you know, Flickr, that works perfectly fine. That one actually works best out of everything. iHeartRadio and that work probably the best. But I mean, I have had some trouble like Facebook. A couple times I had notifications and, you know, they pop up here, and then I check the notification or message back the person, then I close out Facebook, and then it would be saying I still have a notification from Facebook, and I could not get that to go away at all, and I found that very annoying. I actually had to completely delete Facebook, restart the phone, and then reinstall Facebook. So I think at this point I don't even have Facebook. Yeah, I don't even have Facebook on here just because it was really annoying me. But let's see, excuse me again. Let's see what other apps you guys want to hear about. Oh, Documents to Go. So if you guys don't know what Documents to Go is, they're kind of, whoops, wrong button. Documents to Go is a app that's pretty much on all mobile OSs nowadays. I have it on my iPhone, I have it on my Android. I don't have a Windows phone, but it's on here. It's basically like word processing. You know, it's got all the standard things. It's got, well, this one actually on the BlackBerry only has documents, spreadsheet, and presentation is a PowerPoint. On the iPhone and the Android, I think it has a few more. They work fine. Again, with the QWERTY keyboard, you can. Some people are really good with this keyboard. I'm not that good with it, and you know they can type away, you know, super fast, and they can write a whole presentation or whatever they need to do. I'm not quite that fast a typer, but you know it works. There is no printing option from this, like many phones, but you can actually email it or Bluetooth it send it via Bluetooth over to some other device that I don't know, that accepts it. Oh, one thing I almost forgot is that and that app does work fine. So if you're a business person, you need to be able to write those documents. You know, it's in that'll work. You can rely on that. But my other complaint, just from being a kid, is there aren't too many game apps. Yes, I know it's a Blackberry, but sure, there are times where Blackberry is more oriented towards business. I do want to be able to sit there and play Angry Birds just to take up a little bit of time, or some games, and it is very. There's no Angry Birds, there's no Fruit Ninja, there's a knockoff of Fruit Ninja, but it's lacking in many basic common game apps. What else? Oh, email. Email I actually do have a little bit of a complaint on. I don't know if this is on all Blackberries or just some Blackberries, but here, let me show you. I get a lot of this boxing, so this is an email from WordPress. This one looks okay, but so this is from a t-shirt company. This is like my spam email, and see, there's a lot of boxing, and like you can't really see what's going on, and it's actually not really, it doesn't look that good, and I just get a lot of emails. See, like, look at that, just boxes, and it's not even saying like you can download these here, or like on the iPhone, like not supported. They're just kind of these missing boxes. But even, I don't know, like it just gets a little frustrating and confusing. So here, let me compare it. So this is the same email on my iPhone and the same email on here, and look at this. So all these boxes, and then down here is just some empty space, some more boxes. Over here we got, oh, look at that, these boxes are Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, YouTube logos. Oh, there's a big picture of their t-shirt, brand new t-shirts. This one, you just kind of get the text and some boxes, and it's a little confusing even just to read the text, just because there's so many boxes. I've said boxes like 20 times. I'm gonna stop saying that. But so emailing, not as good as I thought it would be for a new Blackberry, but maybe that has to do with the Java problems that the game's running. Maybe that's all related, but as of right now, that's the Java seems to be a problem. And the very last thing I want to talk about before I give my final thoughts on this, it sounds stupid right there, is that the NFC technology. So there is actually an NFC thing somewhere in here. I think actually right back here in the battery case. Let me take off that case real quick. See these little NFC technology right in here, I believe. And and it connects right there and there. What NFC is you can hook up, like you can put in your credit card information. And if you've ever seen those like MasterCard ones where you just take your credit card and then touch it to like the little scanner like at McDonald's or 7-Eleven, it's essentially your credit card is programmed into your phone, and you could just touch your phone to that. Meaning theoretically maybe you wouldn't have to carry around so many credit cards, or even you wouldn't have to carry a wallet, or and you could just, if you know you're going somewhere that accepts credit cards with NFC stuff, like you're just going to 7-Eleven, you can just bring your phone, just tap your phone and go on your way. But it is actually turned off via Verizon software. Verizon, along with Sprint and everyone else, and even in the UK, have actually not authorized BlackBerry to use their technology. So they've actually made BlackBerry not allow it, or not let it be used. Now, they could change this at any time. I know that I've seen some versions of the BlackBerry OS that you can actually download, and it actually unlocks the NFC technology so you can actually use it, which I might try doing later. I may not, haven't decided. But if you're into that, maybe I'll leave a link down below to check that out if you want to try doing that. But yeah, let's talk about my final thoughts on this BlackBerry phone. My final thoughts are that if you are a big gamer or movie watcher, this is not going to be the phone for you. Obviously, just because of the screen. If you're going to want to be watching a lot of movies and games, you're going to want, a big screen like I showed earlier, like, one that probably doesn't have a QWERTY keyboard, that's all touch, along with just one that's more like an iPhone that's optimized and has a lot more apps and games. But if you're a business person and you are looking to get a new BlackBerry, I would recommend this. This has, a nice keyboard, the classic BlackBerry keyboard. It's very responsive. This mouse button works very well. It's got a good click to it. You know, I've heard people complain. I think you should be able to even hear that click. But yeah, it's also the trade-off from, you know, if you're a business user, and that means you're probably going to be going through a lot of emails, and do your emails have a lot of Java or other pictures in them that you're not going to be able to see on this, and you're going to get mad that you have to go to a computer or something to see. But if you're just sending emails, you know, updates to your workers or to your boss or whatever, then this should be fine. I would recommend this for business users, or for someone like myself who actually just really texts and uses Facebook, but you know, also has a tablet and a couple computers, so I don't actually use the internet on my phone that often. You know, like John from Techno Buffalo, he likes Blackberries just because it keeps him, you know, it does the basics. It does his email, his phone, his texting, his Facebook, but it doesn't let him surf the web or check, you know, a million RSSs and just sit on it for hours and hours. And yeah, if you got any comments, leave them down below. Got any questions, leave them down below. My question to you guys will be, if you don't leave something, will be, would you get this? And why or why not? And I'll see you guys later. Assuming cable, and yep. So they're not working on them anymore. They've just stopped production, stopped everything.